Welcome to the Lovefly podcast. It's Paul Tizard here, Fear of Flying Coach, which I've been doing for 25 years. And I just want to say, I hope you enjoy this episode. It's with Linda Porter, who's Head of Health at Virgin Atlantic. I've known her a long time. But before we get into it, just want to warn you that the sound quality has come out really weird. So apologies for that. There's quite a bit of echo. Hopefully you won't notice it too much, but it is there. But the quality of what she's got to say is really helpful. So I'm hoping that you can get past the weird noises in the background. Enjoy.
And today's guest is Linda Porter, who's Senior Manager Health at Virgin Atlantic. And I've been so excited about getting you on to talk to our nervous flyers, and a lot of people have been really interested in this. So welcome, Linda.
Today it's just a privilege to be here, and as we mentioned just before we went live, and we've got 25 years of history, and I think to all of your to all of your group, I just want to say just how amazing you've always been. And I just want to start off by actually saying,
shut up.
No, when I stepped into Virgin Atlantic 25 years ago, I was so nervous. I had all the symptoms. It was absolutely, and yourself and another friend, Paul Keithley, were the two people actually that just made such a difference to me. So it's a privilege to be here to actually help you and all of your friends, because I'll never forget that. And you don't ever forget those moments of kindness, especially when you got high anxiety and joining from the health service. I joined Virgin Atlantic. I'm still here today, and it's because of you. So
thank you, Linda. You were amazing. But you were just so. I remember when you came in, because there was a little bit of history that when Linda joined, the aviation were starting to take on, and particularly Virgin were taking on ex-medical professionals and bringing them, almost like a direct entry system, which for a lot of the established crew kind of put their noses a bit out of joint, because they were thinking, who are these people coming in, just jumping straight into instructor roles and nose to it. But the thing was, I say, is that you've got a massive professional background and you still do all that stuff. And so we're quite right too, there should be, when you need people who've got particular skills like you've got, they should have a sort of an easier route. So that's why me and Paul Keithley were really up for making sure you felt welcome, So anyway, enough of that. Tell us a bit about your world. What do you do?
Oh my goodness, I've got such a privileged world to see. I manage health across Virgin, which is incredible, really. Huge responsibility, which I am very passionate about, but also is, it's my life. And I think the team that work for me care so passionately as well. Is that it's just a privilege. That's why I'm here been here for 25 years. Big job. It really is looking after the health of our employees and our customers, and that's massive, and never ever been so important as these last 2 years. So the last 2 years have been COVID, clearly. We stepped into just over 2 years ago, with a big Virgin Group, I climbed Kilimanjaro in January 2020, which was
as you do,
hard to say the least, but amazing, and flew back into the UK on the 20th of January 2020, and then the next day I was in the crisis centre with Tiggy, our head of crisis, and we had COVID, and none of us knew what that was going to bring, but that's been it's been a real heavy focus for 2 years, and now we're back into flying lots of wonderful people everywhere and looking after them broader than COVID, which is fantastic, and opening up the world safely, and we've learnt loads. So broadly, that's it. I've got a team of amazing people, and their backgrounds are varied. So our health team has got doctors and nurses, we've got occupational health specialists. I've got a Dr. Helen who flew for us as cabin crew 10 years ago, went off and did her medical training and came back. I've got ex-flyers that have flown for years. And I've got members of our special assistance team, which are such a special team of people that look after our customers that need extra assistance. So so very, very lucky, and they're all, they are all really focused on health, and a big part of that is customer health. And I think most airlines look after their customers, which is absolutely right to do so. But at Virgin, top down, it's a really, really focused and invested part. And Shai, our CEO, is he will contact me directly if we've got any customers that need extra help, or if we've got any issues to sort out directly anytime, day or night. He's really, again, he's very passionate about it. And our Chief Operating Officer, Cornell, who's been with us, and he left and come back, he set up himself actually a group called Fly Safe, Fly Well, and that is like corporate-led group that gives us all responsibility and accountability to make sure our customers fly safe and fly well. And safety is a given, that we are such an incredibly safe mode of transport, but flying well is something quite different. And he set this up, and we are, we've got terms of reference about just making sure that every single customer of ours has a good experience, and that they're looked after appropriately, not just safely, but appropriately, and they have a comfortable journey, that they well throughout, and that we're actually equipped to deal with any eventuality if anyone becomes unwell. And again, I wouldn't be here 25 years down the line if I wasn't really confident that we did that well. And we've got, as so many situations that we've dealt with, and our amazing crew that pop on their paramedic heads when they step on that aircraft, and care so deeply about every single person that's on one of those seats. That is a garbled ramble through.
That's good. No, it's good, Linda. I think a lot of people that I speak to, the nervous flyers, and it's around about 12 million in the UK alone, 1 in 5 in the US, and people. The podcast at the moment is just under 7,000 downloads a month. So there's a lot of people that really care about fear of flying and want to do something about it. And a question that comes up, or an area of concern that comes up regularly, is around what about if I'm unwell on board? What can be done? What's available to me? And I've answered that a couple of times with Sarah Fowler. She's come on and done from a crew perspective. But I thought, with your kind of big global, big cheese role, and you obviously talk to other people who look after other airlines' health, I just thought it might be interesting, sort of your perspective on, what sort of stuff is available for nervous flyers generally.
I'm so glad you've had the lovely Sarah on. And I'm sure she's there, on the front line, and we rely on those amazing angels to look after everyone, and they do such a good job. I look after the whole passenger journey, and that's another thing that's really again a privilege. So we work with the teams that speak to our customers before they even book flights, or when they've booked flights and need extra assistance, and that's our special assistance team. And they're unsung heroes, because they're in the background sort of sorting everybody out, and specifically people that have got a fear of flying. As you said, it is really common, and never more so than now. Sister-in-law has got a really long-standing fear of flying, so I've got a real empathy, and that's really close to my heart. So, but our special assistance team are there to be used, and I just would say, anyone that needs anything extra, or that is anywhere near just a little bit anxious about flying, they should ring that team, because they step in immediately. And I said, even before you book a flight, and most airlines have that facility.
Yes.
And that is a person, they're a team of people, and certainly like Virgin, we've always kept that team, because they're human beings who understand, and I've got huge respect for them. So that's one of the things, and they obviously can put in any support, and we've got we can organise oxygen, or they can go through all of the medical provisions that we've got on board, and how well the crew are trained. The other thing that's really important, they can speak directly to our crew. So we've got a team who will just brief the likes of Sarah, who will be managing that flight, so that they know that we've got people that actually need extra care and attention, medical care or pastoral care, or just care, and then they can be there as a personal just there personally to step in and chat and just make sure that that customer is cared for. So that's one aspect. And then obviously
that's very
through the
reassuring. Keep
airport,
going.
we've got our airport team. So again, we know personally. So if somebody's needing escorted through, okay, from the minute they step into the airport, we can do that, and that's globally. So my team speak to all of our overseas airport teams at least every week, and they are a part of the broader Virgin team as well. It's not just UK centric. So the end-to-end journey of somebody that needs particular help can be sorted out. And then on board the aircraft, I think we've always had our businesses support in order to equip the aircraft and our people to deal with absolutely anything that can happen. So obviously anybody can become ill at any time, and not always predictable. But I'm really comfortable that every single situation can be dealt with. I mean, we've delivered babies on board. We've dealt with really serious medical emergencies, such as heart attacks, cardiac arrests, all of the things, the whole spectrum. From someone fainting on board to somebody actually giving birth or having a heart attack, our crew will deal with that whole spectrum, beautifully. And I debrief our crews, and my team do, and absolutely every single time after we have a event on board, I always, am able to say, you would never have had any better care in an emergency department. And and that's 25 years of experience in that.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
it's definitely not a one-off.
I'm quite curious as well, because obviously Virgin's got a great name for that sort of stuff, and obviously I spent time at Virgin as well, as you know. What about other airlines? How would you say? What's the sort of like comparison?
There's industry regulators and also advisory bodies, so things like IATA is one, and EASA and the aerospace medical associations, and they all give guidance on what is the basic standard. And thankfully we're all members of that, and with medicine on board an aircraft and safety, there isn't competition. So we speak to all of our sort of industry partners and friends, and we share, and that's again, that's a great culture and really essential. So there is a minimum of standards across all aircraft, and airlines can't operate without that standard. So all airlines have crew that are trained to minimum standard. They have equipment to deal with all these eventualities. Some airlines go above and beyond, and my airline is I don't own the airline, but it's like
airline, yes, just
my airline is a long haul airline. So we fly, all of our flights are long haul. So subsequently we've got telemedical systems on board. So we've got a hospital on the ground in Phoenix, Arizona that is on call 24/7, and we can hook someone up to equipment that would be equivalent to an A&E department, and we've got immediate remote medical assistance to help our crew as well with serious events. And that's we're a long haul operator, so that's really appropriate to do that.
Is that the same for all long haul carriers, that type of service?
It's an investment that a lot of long haul carriers are definitely thinking about, if not already have done so. So it's one of the sort of evolving innovations that has been really helpful. And it's technology that helps. One is, predominantly it helps our customers feel comfortable that they are, they're not millions of miles away from expert medical help. It also gives our crew a lot of confidence in respect of they deal with such, an incredible, a wealth of situations, because they're so brilliantly trained to do so. And crew training is standardized as well. So, whether you're on a BA flight, EasyJet flight, Ryanair flight or Virgin flight, you're going to be really well looked after because of that. But long haul is a particular concern to a lot of people, and there's we divert if we need to. We have safe procedures to enable us to, if somebody is in extreme need of emergency care, and we'll have a conference call with the medics on the ground. We get involved by our ops centre if necessary, and if we need to safely land in another airport and allow that person to go to the hospital there, we'll do that, and then we'll just take off with the rest of our customers and carry on with our journey. And that is a normal standard thing to happen. It's rare, but we are, our pilots are trained to do that, and everybody within that within that care spectrum is trained to do that. So that can, that can happen, and that's important for us to have that within our procedures. Certainly, all of the UK airlines have got great facilities to deal with that, and I think TC, you've been there, and you've spoken to Sarah, and and all of your friends that within your business know that crew are a special breed of people. They care, and they are crazy
yeah. In the nicest way. Yeah, bit kooky,
yeah, well, you can speak with knowledge of that, definitely. But they do, so it's we have the pick of the bunch as well, and recruitment for our crews is really strict, and it's not just that age-old adage, it's not just serving tea and coffee, it's actually looking after someone's most important commodity, and that's that's their health and well-being. And well-being is important, obviously, it's critically important, and that's something all of our people, certainly at Virgin and other airlines, are really now getting into. The thing, health isn't just medical, it's actually the whole holistic part of feeling well throughout. My dog is barking in the background.
Linda's talking to us from the lovely part of the country called Cumbria. So for those who know that area, it's a fantastic part of the world. And I love the fact that you're still so passionate after so many years. I think, which doesn't surprise me, to be honest. You always were. So I think a specific thing then, because it sounds like there's a lot of stuff in place and a lot of airlines are getting with the program. What about, what if I have a panic attack on board? What can be done? What would you say?
One that is so common, and as I said, we're coming out of a pandemic, and I think we can just assume that I think most people have a degree of anxiety. It's we all have. Panic attacks are real. It can be really, really scary, and our crew are trained particularly for that event because it's not uncommon. It's very common. So it's a normal part of flying, and the crew are trained to deal with that. Kindly to empathise, to sit down and talk to our customers. They know what to do practically in that event as well. So they're trained, and our crew are trained in a aircraft rig setting. Every year they come back, and that is on the curriculum because it has to be, because it's common. We're all open to that happening, ready to deal with that customers and care about them in those circumstances, and that's for the whole of the passenger journey as well. And our airport teams are also trained for that too. So and again, that can happen at any point, from stepping pre-flight to stepping into the airport to stepping off that flight. So it's just important that everybody is aware and trained and empathetic, and capable of dealing with that situation.
Yeah, I think that's
normal.
reassuring. Are you being burgled because your little doggy's mental?
Completely. And let me close the door. No, he's protecting the house, which is ridiculous.
It's good. Good job. Yeah, good job. So, what sort of advice would you say? Your years and years of experience of working with, nervous flyers, people with health challenges, etc. What sort of messages can you? I mean, there's some really good stuff already, but I'm trying to squeeze the lemon and get a bit more out. Well, not that you're a lemon, but you know what I mean.
I've been called a lot worse. I'd say, I think we go back to what we were mentioning before. It's calling us, our team ahead of flying, anticipating that, if you do need any extra assistance, and as I said, that's not just medical assistance, that's just if you have got any anxiety about flying, is you ring our special assistance team. They're those details from the website, and as I said, is if you're flying on any airline, if you look up special assistance, it'll take you to the right number to call, and then you're in contact with a human being that can actually just walk you through what is available, and also is start just helping you from that point. And then the most important thing is that we can, with consent, with your consent, we can speak to the crew, which we will do, and my team. So what I didn't mention before is our special assistance team. If you've got particularly challenging conditions, medical conditions or psychological conditions, is they can escalate to my medical team as well. So, and that's in-house. So we all, my team have, flown. They know the environment. They are medically trained, and not just medically trained in medicine, in aviation medicine and airline medicine. So they know all of the aspects of challenge for all of our customers. And passenger health is a really big subject, and it's a niche subject. So they, there's this escalation process where that can be escalated, and that's important provision to know about. And if you don't need anything extra and you are just a little bit anxious about flying, is speaking to our special assistance team, I can tell you, will be a really great step, because they can, they will literally put your mind at rest and put everything else in place as necessary. So to talk to us, I think that's talk to the airline if you've got any anxiety at any time prior to that flight, and then things like, all of this, Tizzy, and it's preparation, reaching out, talking. If you step on the aircraft and you haven't spoken to us before, just reach out to any of the crew and just openly say what you need, and they will be there for you.
I know with crew that people who do it, 99.9% of them do it because they like people and they want to help people. And so one of the things I know when I used to have cabin crew help on the courses I ran before, is that they used to find that some of the most rewarding things that they did, because it meant that they could spend proper time with people and just help to reassure them. I just don't think people realise how well trained the crew are. I mean, certainly the people listeners to the podcast will know, but a lot of people just don't know, do they? They're just a phenomenal bunch of humans.
Absolutely, and humbling every single day, and inspiring. And what we expect of our crew is immense, but every single time they pull it out of the bag. I mean, as I said, it's incredible. And I teach in hospitals, and that's an amazing thing to do as well. But I see the capability of our cabin crew, and that haven't gone through years and years of medical training. They've gone through intense training, and I'm in awe. I'm in awe of them, and it's because, as I said, we take on the right people, and as you said, 99.9% of the time, that motivation's totally right, and they are phenomenal. So it's and that's, as I said, this is why I've been here for years, because I'm just so proud of what of what we can do in such an important environment. And as you said, is that it's totally underestimated how trained our crew are, and our pilots. It's with the courses you used to have, our pilots, they care too, and we have events where our pilots will be really are trained to deal with the medical assistance on the ground. They're also trained in how to assist appropriately, and when someone is traveling with us that needs extra help, as well as flying the plane so amazingly well, but they're aware. So it's a real team, a team effort, and everyone is invested in looking after our customers, because that is the number one priority, right?
If that was like a point to end a podcast, it would be on that. But I've got to ask you something about the future, basically, because you've done so much in terms of moving things on, that even the name, when I first started, it was called like first aid or something, and it moved to aviation medicine, and now it's health. What next? What's the sort of the future looking like?
It's a really good question. I think it's maintaining the standard that we have at the moment is important, and obviously certainly post pandemic, we've learned a lot from that as well. by the way, which is amazing. You know, as much as that's been such a difficult couple of years, is we always learn by, you know, such incredibly complex and serious events, and we have so that's important. We've got, you know, now we've got really amazing relationships with all of the public health authorities around the world. So, you know, it's again, that's another, it's a
But
small,
that's come as a result of the pandemic. You said it's increased those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so just so I think I think certainly telemedicine is definitely evolving. So it's sort of bringing assistance to, you know, remote assistance into where you are, no matter where you are. So there's always expert help available. Is definitely something that's growing, and the world is so better connected now. So there's this huge, you know, there's a brilliant platform to be able to maximize on that kind of technology. We'll always continue to evolve training crew to, you know, to higher levels. I mean, our crew are, you know, if you have a severe allergic reaction, you know, our crew and many other airlines crew are able to deal with that immediately, and, you know, and do everything that's required for that, including sort of injections, etc. So I think it is just that. But as you mentioned about health, is one of the big things is the non-medical aspects of health, and looking after the, you know, the well-being of all of our customers holistically. So not just those with the fear of flying. A hidden disability is a huge area that we I've just been working on that for the last couple of weeks with our head of customer care. We partner with in the UK and US Sunflower Initiative. We recognise the Sunflower Lanyard initiatives. We've also got our own hidden disability symbol, and we really appreciate that hidden disability is a huge area of focus. So we're just looking at setting up an evolving training program for our crews and our ground teams on that particular area of care. And, you know, and the sky, opening the skies to everyone is, I mean, you've known Geraldine Lundy for years, and
she's been on the podcast. Years. Yeah,
she's well, I can't have Geraldine, but we had Geraldine for years, looking after all of our customers with hidden and non-hidden disability. And, you know, we've carried on certainly with all of the amazing work that she done, and obviously she got honoured for her work that she did with particularly customers, passengers. So that's an area of focus that we're just revisiting, because of course for 2 years we hardly flew customers, and that was one thing where we absolutely didn't want to be complacent in respect of when we started flying again, that all of our standards needed to be as high as they were pre-pandemic, and we certainly never want to leave any stone unturned. So the other amazing thing is that our customers write in, you know, our passengers write in, and they write into Shy, they write into Cornell, they write into me directly, they write into our customer care company, and we're a relatively small airline, and so we can, you know, we will always pick up on all feedback, and again, is that there's never a week where we don't learn. And I'm dealing with a couple of, you know, really useful pieces of feedback that we've had from a couple of our customers with disability that have brought in, saying, oh, you might want to think about doing things a little bit differently, and, you know, we've jumped on that. And so it's an always evolving area, and we'll learn from our customers, we'll learn from the experts, we'll learn from guidance, and, you know, we'll never stop trying to enhance that passenger journey, because we're there to do that. And as I said, there's not another thing. And, you know, every meeting I go to, you know, it's health is the number one priority up there with safety and security, and it is, you know, health, safety and security are all equally as important, and that comes from, you know, the top, and that's hugely important.
Those are some great messages, and I can't thank you enough for you, because I've been harassing you. I'll be honest. I feel like I've been stalking you because I wanted you on because I knew that you would. And so I'm
I've
really
been a
grateful.
little bit
Thank you.
busy setting up our aircraft to take all of our wonderful customers. So
Yeah,
it's
I appreciate it.
really
And
nice.
I'm just really
Nice.
grateful for you giving your time and talking to all the nervous passengers that listen into this podcast. And I just think that'll be really reassuring. So I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
It's been wonderful, and keep in touch, and I promise not to be so long next time if you indeed invite me back. I'll let you know
Of course
how
I
we're
would.
getting
Yeah,
on.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.